Cadet Ryland stood at the edge of the training field, sweat dripping down his forehead, his pulse racing. Around him, the older cadets moved with practiced precision, flipping through zero-gravity maneuvers, handling simulation weapons with skill and speed. Ryland, barely 18, felt small. His muscles a little weaker, his reflexes a little slower, but he refused to let that show. He was determined. "Ryland, focus," barked Instructor Vela, a tall alien with shimmering blue skin and eyes that seemed to see right through him. "Again, if you can't master this, you'll fall behind." "Yes, Instructor," Ryland said, tightening his grip on the simulation rifle. He leapt into position, lunged, rolled, and fired. The holographic target blinked red. Hit, miss, hit. It wasn't perfect, but it was enough to keep him in the class. Other cadets snickered. Some whispered, "Just a human kid. He'll never survive real missions." Ryland ignored them. He had a mission in mind, even if no one else knew it yet. He had always wanted to do something more than training. Humans were small in the galaxy, just one of many species, but he had something none of them did. Creativity, courage, and a stubborn will to survive. Back in the cadet dorm, Ryland checked the station's message board. A new alert flashed. Distress signal, planet Targon 4 research colony under attack. Apex predators. The words made him freeze. Targon 4 was dangerous. The predators there were massive, intelligent beasts that hunted in packs. Not even veteran soldiers dared to go alone. But Ryland didn't hesitate. His heart pounded with excitement. Here was a chance to prove himself, to show what a human cadet could do. He ran to the command center. "I want to volunteer," he said almost too loudly. The room went quiet. Senior cadets stared. Officers exchanged glances. "You?" one alien cadet exclaimed. "You're barely a trainee. You'll get eaten in minutes." Ryland held his ground. "I may be a trainee, but humans have survived worse. Let me go. I can help." A commander, a grizzled alien with silver scales, studied him for a long moment. Then he nodded slowly. "Very well, Cadet Ryland. You'll join the rescue team, but stay out of the way until we see what you can do." "Don't get yourself killed." "Yes, sir," Ryland said. His chest swelled with pride. The next day, Ryland stepped aboard the transport ship bound for Targon 4. The engines hummed, vibrating through the floor. He looked out the window at the stars, feeling both fear and excitement. Alien cadets whispered among themselves. "Why let a human join? He'll slow us down." Ryland didn't answer. Instead, he reviewed the maps of Targon 4 on his tablet. The predators were known to patrol the northern valleys. They were fast, intelligent, and deadly. But humans had a trait no predator could predict: ingenuity. As the ship entered the planet's orbit, alarms blared. The colony below was under attack. Fires burned bright and shadows of massive predators moved across the landscape. Ryland's stomach tightened, but he felt alive. "Prepare for drop," the commander shouted. "Cadets, stay sharp." Ryland secured his harness and leapt into the drop bay. The wind tore at his suit as they descended. In moments, they were on the ground, rolling to avoid debris and predator claws. The colony was chaos. Alien researchers ran, screaming, trying to save what they could. Fires blazed through buildings. And through it all, Ryland noticed something the others didn't. The predators weren't just attacking randomly. They were hurting the colonists. They had strategy. "Stick together," the commander yelled. Ryland moved quickly, scanning the terrain. Then he saw an opening, a narrow canyon that could funnel the predators away from the civilians. He shouted to the team, "This way. Use the canyon." Some hesitated. The alien soldiers were trained for brute force, not improvisation. But Ryland led the way. The cadets followed, ducking behind rocks as predator claws scraped the ground inches from their heels. For a moment, Ryland froze. A predator, massive and scaly, blocked the path. Its eyes locked on him. Ryland's heart raced. Fear bubbled up, but he forced himself to think. He threw a rock to the side. The predator followed it instinctively. "Go! Now!" he yelled. The team sprinted, barely escaping. That night, as the team set up a temporary camp, aliens gathered around a holographic map, debating the predator's next move. Ryland stayed quiet, watching the creatures' tracks, their patterns. He noticed something. The predators hesitated whenever humans were nearby. Something about humans made them uncertain. "Cadet Ryland?" the commander asked, noticing him. "Do you have a plan?" Ryland swallowed. Think the predators are cautious around humans. If we position ourselves at key points, we might be able to drive them away without losing anyone. Murmurs filled the room. The aliens were skeptical. But the commander looked thoughtful. Interesting. We'll try your approach, but no mistakes, Cadet. Rylan nodded. He felt the weight of responsibility. He was small. He was inexperienced. But he was human, and humans could do the unexpected. As the night deepened, he sat alone, looking at the stars through the thin dome of the camp. He remembered the cadets' laughter, the instructors' doubts, the whispers that humans were weak. None of it mattered anymore. Tomorrow he would show them what humans could do, and somewhere in the darkness the apex predators watched. Rylan didn't know it yet, but their hesitation. Dawn broke over Targon Fur, casting an orange glow across the jagged terrain. Smoke from burning buildings curled into the sky, and the distant roars of predators echoed through the valleys. Cadet Rylan tightened his harness and checked his gear. Today they would face the creatures directly. The alien soldiers muttered among themselves, nervous. None of them trusted the humans' approach, but Rylan stayed calm. He had spent the night studying predator tracks and patterns. He had an idea, and he knew humans had something the predators did not expect: unpredictability. "Move out," the commander ordered. The team followed the narrow paths toward the colony, weapons ready. Rylan led from the front, scanning the rocky landscape. Suddenly, a massive shadow crossed their path. A predator. Its scales gleamed in the sunlight. Its claws dug into the ground, leaving deep gouges. It had eyes like molten gold, intelligent and dangerous. Rylan froze for a moment. Fear pulsed through him, sharp and biting. But he remembered the rock trick from yesterday. He picked up a stone and tossed it to the side. The predator's head snapped toward it, and it growled, confused. "Go!" he shouted. The cadets ran, hearts hammering, as the predator followed the decoy. The first encounter was a warning. The predators were not mindless beasts. They had strategy. They hunted in pairs and trios, circling and testing the humans' responses. Rylan noticed their hesitation when humans appeared in view. Something about humans made them cautious. As the team approached the colony's central compound, Rylan spoke up. "We can't fight them head-on. We need to use the terrain." One of the older alien cadets scoffed. "Terrain? You're just a human kid. You think rocks will stop them?" Rylan ignored the insult. He spotted a series of cliffs and narrow canyons. If they could lead the predators into the canyons, the team could trap them without risking lives. "Here," he said, pointing. "We move through the cliffs, force them into the canyon. They can't maneuver well there. We have a chance." The commander studied the map, then nodded. "Fine, Cadet, you lead the way." Rylan's stomach tightened, but he didn't hesitate. Humans were small, but fast, clever, and unpredictable. That had to count for something. As they moved, the predators watched from a distance. One of them, larger than the others, stepped forward and sniffed the air. Its gaze locked on Rylan. He froze. For a moment it seemed to study him, as if weighing the risk of attacking. Then it hissed, and the others backed off slightly. Rylan felt a thrill run through him. Human's presence alone, his presence, was making the predators hesitate. He whispered to himself, "We can do this." The team reached the canyon entrance. Rylan scanned the area. He noticed loose rocks above the predators' expected path. If they timed it right, they could cause a minor rock slide to redirect the predators. "Ready?" he asked the team. Nods came back, hesitant but trusting. Rylan climbed a small ridge and pushed a boulder just as a predator approached. It tumbled down the slope, creating a sudden barrier. The predator growled in frustration, momentarily trapped. "Now!" Rylan shouted. The team charged, moving the colonists to safety through the canyon. The predators hesitated. They were smart. They realized the humans' plan, but humans were unpredictable. Rylan led them through tight spaces, dodging fallen debris, leaping over gaps and signaling when to turn. Every move was calculated yet flexible. By midday, the humans had herded the predators into a narrow valley. They couldn't chase without risking injury. Rylan watched, breathing hard, as the massive creatures tested the human line, unsure of what to do. The alien soldiers were amazed. "This human, he's doing what we could never plan," one whispered. Rylan didn't answer. He was focused. Every instinct, every observation mattered. He noticed patterns in predator behavior, how they reacted to movement, sound, and even the cadence of footsteps. Humans could adapt quickly. Predators, despite their size and strength, were limited. That night, the team set up camp near the canyon. The predators had retreated slightly, circling in the distance. Ryland sat quietly thinking. The creatures were dangerous, yes, but cautious around humans. That hesitation was key. The commander approached. "Cadet Ryland," he said, "you saved lives today. Your strategy worked. These predators. They respect humans, it seems." Ryland shrugged. "I just watch them. They react to patterns, habits. Humans can change patterns fast. That's all." The commander smiled faintly. "Small, clever, unpredictable. Humans may be weak in size, but strong in ways no predator expects." Ryland felt pride swell. He was just a cadet, but today humans had made a difference. He had survived his first real encounter with apex predators and learned something important. Strength alone didn't win battles. Awareness, quick thinking, and courage did. In the days that followed, Ryland and the team continued to monitor predator movements. Each encounter showed the same result. The predators hesitated near humans, backed away when humans acted boldly, and adjusted their tactics to avoid the unpredictable presence of humans. Ryland kept notes, observing behavior, learning. His alien teammates watched silently, their respect growing. One evening, as the twin moons rose over the horizon, Ryland spoke to himself quietly. "We're not just survivors. We're humans, and we can make a difference no matter how small we are." Far off in the shadows, the predators watched, their golden eyes reflecting the moonlight. They had noticed him, the small human who thought fast and acted bold. And for the first time, the apex predators began to consider humans as something different, something to be wary of.